I will never watch another slave movie ever again. What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. Let's talk about Antebellum. So I wanted to start off with the positives about this movie and then head into the negatives. I watched this movie without seeing the trailer. I had no idea what was going on. I just saw Janelle Monáe and I was ready to go. So first things first, the costumes. I thought they did such a beautiful job with the costumes, the colors. Well, in present day, in Veronica's lives, the colors, the clothing she was wearing, the way it fit her, it was just so beautiful. They were bright, they pulled your eye to them, so attracting. The staging was great. Most of the cinematography I thought was amazing, the way they shot scenes. It was just so beautiful to watch. From the brands that I noticed, they try to throw in some Black-owned brands. So I noticed that Veronica was wearing Ivy Park when she was working out. There was this whole thing with the lipstick, which was by, who's the lipstick by again? Pat McGrath Labs, which is a high-end brand. So a high-end Black-owned brand. So it was really cool to see them show tribute and promote female Black-owned brands. Another thing I thought was great was that it was really like a true nightmare. So it being a thriller in a horror genre, I really was terrified. I even started to have a little bit of a dream last night. So in that sense, they achieved their goal. And when it came to Veronica's family, it was beautiful to see the way that they highlighted this beautiful Black family and the love between them and the connection and how much this man really cared about his wife and she cared about her family, wanted to be with them. They were successful. It's beautiful to see that these women were strong professional characters who had accomplished so much. It was a beautiful lot and successful Black women. And that being said, I will say to end the area of things that I thought was great about this film was that I had no idea where it was going. I had no idea. I was completely clueless. And so that made it intriguing to keep watching for this hour and 45-minute film. Now for the negatives. The writing was very on the nose. It felt a little bit lazy and uncreative in the way that they chose to tell the story. I'm a huge fan of Janelle Monáe's. I love the work that she does, and musically and in movies, and I still was supportive of her character throughout, but I just feel like within the writing, they could have done a better job in just giving her more of a well-rounded character. I'm saying as much as I can say without spoiling the film for you guys. Janelle Monáe as Veronica was it was like you could tell that she went and watched Angela Rye on the news and how she presented her points. It was very, it just felt a little bit extra. Like I didn't feel like I fell into the story because it was like clear the points that was trying to be made without it being succinct, or it just felt a little overly forced, shall I say. There's this thing I have about men who write female characters. It's like they write women in the idea of the way they think women are or should be, or how they fantasize them to be. And I found this in watching Gabourey Sidibe's character, which was the comic relief. She was super funny and like the heartwarming not even heartwarming best friend, but the best friend. And but she was also very rude and dismissive, and was just like, there's a scene where it's like, okay, her rudeness was necessary, but besides that, she was very rude and dismissive to other people for no reason. And I was like, that had to be the way it was written, but to me it just felt unnecessary, and it made her slightly unlikable, which was this hard balance between, okay, she's cute with her friend, but the way she's treating other people is not cool at all. Kiersey Clemons had this pivotal role in the movie also, but there was not much background on who she was to make it extremely meaningful with her process. It was just kind of like they gave you a reason for why she was the way she was, and they made sure that they put reasons and explanations in through the film, but there wasn't enough work done on backstory to make you attached to the characters. And her time in the film was short. Her and Gabourey, it was like these characters who have such an effect in the movie, quote unquote, well, should have such an effect in the movie, but the time that you get to experience them in the film is really limited. So in the sense of not knowing the direction of the film, there's this scene where a little girl comes into the elevator with Veronica, and she looks deathly. The girl looks sick, ghostly, or what have you, and you can't tell if it's like she's imagining it or if this child's a ghost or whatnot. But then you find out that it just doesn't even make sense for why she's there. Like it just doesn't make sense why they put it in there. And I honestly wonder if they put her in there just to trick you into thinking that the film was going to go one way and it ends up going another way, and that's just kind of like false advertising. I didn't like that at all. And then there's a scene at the end of the movie which is full of exposition, which is where the character explains the reason they're doing for whatever they're doing. But exposition is something you have to be very careful with, because if you use it wrongly, it's a rushed way to end the film, to get all your points in without telling the story out fully. And I really felt that it was annoying. It was like irking. It was like, ugh, this isn't the best way to tell this story. And it felt very lazy. And at that point, I just didn't care. So to wrap it up, I would say that the film did its job in the sense that, you know, by the end of the film, I'm screaming at the screen. It has me triggered and activated, but that's also something that I hated about it. I hated feeling triggered. It pulled up a lot of trauma, and I was left with the message of, like, Black people need to shut the fuck up. That's what it felt to me. Like, there was no positive reasoning for this film there's no except. The only thing I really felt was that I was just left being re-traumatized by the same thing over and over again. And that is why I refused to watch another slave movie. Even though there were so many things in there that tried to balance out the negative effects of the slave parts of this film, I still was left feeling like I needed to go take that blowtorch and burn some shit down. And there's no, like, what do we get from that as Black people? So this film is really interesting because it's a duo between a Black man and a white man, a director film writer duo, which I thought was really interesting. Usually you see these film duos are created by two brothers and whatnot. I'd love to know how they came up with this film together, but also I see that this is their first feature film, so hopefully moving forward we see some other types of projects from them. They clearly have creative ideas, and let's hope they move away from the slave thing. But yeah, I think that's all I really have to say about it. I would still, you see, I see a Black man and I want to say go support the film, but I also don't want you guys to go and be traumatized yourselves. So I'm in that weird place. So yeah, you guys, you gotta do, yeah, let's just say yeah, that's my review of Antebellum. If you watch this film, just make it your last, like me, and then hopefully they'll get the point and stop making these slave movies. All right, that's all I got to say about it. Thank you guys for joining me on my couch, and I will see you next time. Bye.